Hey folks, Quill18 here, and welcome to day 2 of the 2011 Steam Holiday Sale Special. We're going to look at what games are on sale today and talk about what's worth buying, what's not worth buying. There we go. I have moved the camera, so now you should be able to see the prices perfectly fine today. So the first game up for checking out is Red Orchestra 2, which is a multiplayer first-person shooter type game that I haven't personally played. It has gotten very positive reviews. I mean, not stellar reviews. It's at a 75 out of 100. And it's still $20 despite the 50% discount. So to me, that's sort of above the kind of impulse buy level that you normally want to look at. So I think you're really going to have to do your own research and see if this is the kind of game you want. It'll help if you've got some of your friends interested in playing it, because of course it's not one of the really huge, very well-known multiplayer first-person games out there like Team Fortress, Call of Duty, Battlefield, that sort of thing. So you want to make sure you're going to have people to play with and not necessarily depend on the built-in audience for that. Next thing we've got is Costume Quest, which is a casual single-player RPG, a little adventure game, very cutesy, no doubt about that. It is very inexpensive, so again, if you're into adventure game type things, it may be worth checking out, but of course I haven't actually tried this one out either, unfortunately, so I can't give you a sort of first person perspective on it. Now, The Witcher and The Witcher 2, both of them are on sale today. These games are highly recommended. But what you should do, actually, before you buy them on Steam, well, we all love stuff on Steam, do check out Good Old Games, which is GOG.com. That is the website by the publisher, the developer and sort of self-publisher of Witcher 2. They're kind of indie, basically. And goodoldgames.com is a great place for all kinds of old games. But you may be able to get the game for the same price there. It's hard to compete against these Steam sales. But if you can, then you're giving the money directly to the people who made the game. Less middlemen, and it may be worth supporting the industry that way. What is The Witcher and The Witcher 2? The Witcher 2 is actually, while these games aren't quite as well known and massively selling as, say, Skyrim, some people have I've said that Witcher 2 and Skyrim, because those are the most modern iterations of their series, are very much on par with one another. The Witcher is somewhat more linear, and therefore tells a better, more cohesive story. Skyrim is a little bit more wide open, and therefore gives you a little bit more freedom. But they're both very good, and The Witcher does have a lot of openness. It's a RPG where you can do a lot of things and get married and stuff. So yeah, very good game. Definitely worth checking out if you like RPGs. Duke Nukem Forever, the game we thought would take forever to come out, is out. It's only $5 now. It was absolutely brutalized in reviews, but I think a lot of that was critics taking out their frustration, the fact that, well, this game took 15 billion years to come out, and why isn't it the greatest game ever? So it's kind of just sort of a generic-y, not necessarily notable first-person shooter, but it's still a fun game, and for $5 it's hard to go wrong. And if anything, I mean, you have to play it, right? Duke Nukem Forever. I mean, you have to say that you've done it. Next up, Dungeons of Dredmor. Now, this is an interesting game. This is a casual-friendly, I even know Gaslamp Games. I've done quite a few little great things. It's a casual-friendly roguelike game. And a roguelike is hard to describe maybe in a nutshell, but these tend to be sort of like non-real-time dungeon crawl games, where you can... The game play doesn't advance until you sort of take an action. So you step forward, and the monsters also move. But if you're surrounded by monsters, you can just sort of step away from the keyboard and think about what you want to do here for a sec. You don't have to act instantly, so it's not a Twitch game. And so a lot of them are kind of inaccessible and very arcane. Some of them are text-based. Dungeon Dredmor is very graphical, and it's not quite as difficult to play in terms of complexity, but it's still kind of hard to play the game. Now, personally, I've tried it, and I wasn't as fond of it because I'm a big fan of roguelikes, and some of the things I felt may have been missing at the time, but they've also improved the game. They've continued to patch it and expand it as time goes on, so I have to actually give it another try. But it comes very highly regarded, and I can't actually see the price on this page. $1.24. Yeah, what are you going to do, not buy it? It's $1.24, my gosh. And people who play it like it a lot, like it tons. I'm not like addicted to it. That's just because I'm already addicted to other roguelikes. So it's got to wait in line. That's it. But I still $1.24. And you need it for some of the achievements today for the Great Pile Draw Qualifier. So actually I'm going to have to break it out and play some so that I can get another entry into the draw, which I'll talk about very briefly. Chantelis and Recettear are really interesting games. Both of these are actually, they're portmanteaus with the words of the names of the two characters. You have Recette and Tier, which being like, and it's sort of set, how to explain it? Okay, you know, in like an RPG game, like, I don't know, you're playing in a Zelda game and there's a shop, right, where you can go and buy items, something like that. You kind of play the people who run the shop. And you can even do something like you can hire some of the adventurers to clear out some dungeons for you to get some more items to sell in your shop. And it's got a storyline, and I mean it's very sort of JRPG-ish, and it's super cute. There's a lot of dialogue in Recettear. I haven't played Chantelis, but I have Recettear. There's quite a bit of dialogue. I don't know actually what the gameplay in Chantelis is, so disclaimer right there. But it's super duper cute, and let's click through and actually see what the prices are. $2.49 and $5. So really inexpensive, which is what I figured would be the case, and it is pretty adorable. Tropico 4! It's Tropico! You guys know I love Tropico. It's an amazing game, lots of fun to play. 4 is not considerably different from 3, which was not considerably different from 1. 2 was an oddball, which we won't talk about. 3 brought the series into 3D. 4 made it prettier 3D, added a few little tweaks and changes here. And ultimately, it's like, if you wanted a different game, Tropico 4 might be a disappointment. But if you wanted the same game, only improved, then Tropico 4 is exactly what you're looking for. And I, for one, I hadn't bought it yet because I was waiting for it to come on sale, simply because I wanted to play it really bad, but I knew I didn't have the time. Because I didn't have the time, I could wait for it to come on sale. But now I have to buy it, 66% off, $13.59 if you have North American pricing. Can't go wrong there. And again, you need an achievement from this game to get another draw qualifier, so I'm going to be looking into that. And people keep requesting me to make videos for it. So now that I'll own it, I'll be able to do it. I don't know when I'm going to fit into the schedule, but at least it'll be an option from now on. Next thing, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Well, everyone knows the Modern Warfare series, the Call of Duty series. Hugely successful multiplayer first-person shooter games, a lot of strategic and tactical elements, very highly regarded. Now, of course, the third iteration of this game is out now. There's Modern Warfare 3, but it doesn't mean you can't play 2, and it's still quite nice. And in fact, 3 sort of got criticized because it's using the engine from 2, so they're like, oh, it's just an expansion pack or something. And obviously there's significant differences, but it means that there's still a lot of value in playing 2 from a multiplayer perspective, with the caveat that a lot of people may have moved on to 3. The problem with these games is they don't have very strong single-player components, and that's one of the reasons I haven't really gotten into it. They've got a single-player campaign, but they've never been very well received. They're okay, they're playable, but whether it's worth your $14.99, that is a whole other story. I actually think I'm going to pass on it, partially just because I have a limited amount of time to play every game. Theater of War, I do not know much about, but it's a whole series of games that's on sale right now. Theater of War 1, 2 with many expansions, and 3, Korea. So play the hot events of the First War. You got some complete collections to pick up. Strategic mode. I'm afraid it looks like it is a strategy game based on war. It might be real time. It might not be. I'm really afraid. I just don't know much about this game at all. Binocular view, engineer cores, real-time mining and demining, lots of artillery, unique landscape, non-linear dynamic campaigns. Okay, the first for the series. So apparently 3 is the first one. I love games that do that. There's a flight simulator game that I can't pronounce, this Russian one, that does the same thing, where it's like, it'll be a classic thing, it'll be World War II or whatever, but the actual campaign, the actual stuff you do is dynamic, the events are kind of randomized, and whether you win or lose affects the entire course of the main war. So even though you're just dealing with these individual specific little events, you're pushing borders backwards and forwards, and you really feel like your actual impacts, your actions make a difference. You're not just moving on to the next mission in a predefined campaign, and if you lose, you got to restart. I don't know how this game works, but in this flight simulator, if you lose, it means your actual character, your pilot is dead, and you can continue the campaign, but you're a new pilot with a new rank, and it doesn't actually change. It doesn't stop you from going forward, but it still feels like, wow, that's real, that happened. So I don't know much about this, although it's cheap, $6.24. I'm tempted to try it and just poke around. I know I won't have time to play, is the only thing, but $6.24, that is not expensive. Batman, the video game. So these Lego games are always surprisingly popular and surprisingly well received. It's nothing I would have ever expected, but people really seem to enjoy playing them quite a bit. They are geared towards a younger audience, but adults seem to like them as well, so it may be worth checking out if this is your thing. Plus, it's Batman. The entire Half-Life franchise is on sale for 75% off, and of course that starts off pretty cheap in the first place. If we click through and see some prices, like they are crazy reduced in price in general because they've been around for a while, and because this is Steam and Valve is pretty aggressive about lowering the prices in general, and you put it on sale. I mean, Half-Life 1, $249, Half-Life 2, $249. These are literally two of the greatest games ever put out. Half-Life 2 was exceptionally good because of what it represented at the time. A first-person shooter with a real compelling story. Really stood out at the time. Now, you know, whether it's aged particularly well is a whole other question. But Half-Life 2 still stands out as amazing story and graphics and voice acting and all kinds of things. I mean, Gordon Freeman in particular is voiced very well. Anyway, moving on. In episode 1 and 2 are there. Episode 3 strangely missing. Yeah, Valve can't count the 3, by the way. They've never put out version 3 of anything. So all the expansions, everything is there in one nice package. $10 if you just buy the entire package together. I don't know why I'm still talking about this. You should have played Half-Life by now. If you have not, it's like a sin on your gaming resume. Pick this up, play it. Super, super, super worth it. Hey, we got another cutscene. We got a Tropico guy, Witcher guy. Hail to the cook, baby. Nice. Very cool. I like these little arts. And then Sacred... Sacred is the name of the game. Sacred Gold, I think, is just, you know, the gold edition of it. And then also a Sacred 2. These... There we go. Let's click through to one of those. I don't have them. I believe they're RPGs. Yes, action RPGs, which I don't know much about. And the score of 71 Metascore for a $10 game, I'm not sure how worthwhile that all is. Again, read some reviews on this one because I really can't provide you any input, unfortunately. The first game actually has a slightly better Metascore. Yeah, I'm not sure, but that's the end of the game. Now, I do want to talk about this great gift pile if you don't know what this is. Every day, they have a series of things that you can do which earn you, well, lumps of coal, actually. But they earn you a gift. They unlock a gift. And then you can either, that can be all kinds of things. It can be a coupon, it can be a free game, or it can be a lump of coal. But a lump of coal is fine because each lump of coal is actually a ticket into a big draw. And you can also redeem, I think, 7 lumps of coal in order to get something as well. Like get one of the gifts that you could have gotten normally, like a free game or something like that. So today they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different things that you can do. And they're based on unlocking achievements in games. Yeah, they all seem to be based that. And it'll tell you if you need to own the game. Now, luckily, these are always tied into games that are on sale that day. So, I mean, it's their way of trying to encourage you to buy, but it also means if you look at something you really want to min-max your chances, you know, like maybe you'll pay the $1.24, was it, for Dungeons and Dredmor just to get your extra chance at a draw, because who knows what you'll get. I can view my Steam inventory here and see that I have won Half-Life 2 Episode 2, which I already have, so I'm going to have to send it on to someone, but cool, man. So, like... It might be worthwhile. I don't know. I haven't min-maxed it. Now, one thing is, if you miss the first day, you can still do those. And the last time they had a sale, these objectives were achievable throughout the entirety of the sale. So even if you were on the last day, you could still do this stuff from the first day. And that includes look at your inventory. You have a gift. That's one thing. So there's an Orcs Must Die achievement, which I did there. And I also have Anomaly Warzone Earth, so I'm going to see if I can get the missions 2-4 and get another ticket if I've got some time. I would love to do more of this. The grand prize, by the way, is literally every game on Steam. That is the gift, the draw at the end. The grand prize is you own all the things. Wow. Now that's probably going to include like 100 gigs of Train Simulator DLC, which is awesome if that's your thing. But yeah, so there you go. That's the roundabout, and we'll come back to it tomorrow and have another look, see what's on sale. Thanks for watching.